Hey everybody, welcome to the 7th annual BookTube Prize. Today we're announcing the results from the Octofinals round and the pairings for the Quarterfinals round. The format for the BookTube Prize is relatively straightforward. The competition takes place over 4 rounds of judging over 8 months. We began February 1st with 48 books in each division, fiction and nonfiction, and they were placed in groups of 6 books each. Then each group is judged by a panel of 11 readers in the first round. The judges rank the books independently. Then the top 3 books, based on their cumulative rankings, advance to the next round, and the other 3 books get eliminated. So the Octofinals round cuts the fields in half from 48 books to 24. And the quarterfinals begin today and will run through April and May. A couple of administrative notes before we get to the results. Shortly after this video premiere ends, you can go to our website at booktubeprize.org and download a PDF checklist for the quarterfinals, not the octofinals, for the quarterfinals, and read along with us if you'd like. Also, if you click on the graphics heading, you'll see the group graphics I use in all these videos. Feel free to download those and use them in your own videos and social media posts about the BookTube Prize. And if you're a judge, just a few minutes after this premiere ends, I will release the ballots for the quarterfinals round to your SpeechWire accounts. If you've been assigned a round, you'll also receive an email with further instructions. Please read that email right away and follow the instructions on how to accept your ballot so we can get the round started smoothly. Okay, enough with the administrative business. Let's get to the results. We'll begin with nonfiction. In Group A, the 6 books were Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent by Judi Dench and Brendan O'Hay. Slow Noodles, a Cambodian memoir of love, loss, and family recipes by Chanta Nguyen. There's Always This Year on Basketball and Ascension by Hanif Abdurraqib. Survival is a Promise, The Eternal Life of Audre Lorde by Alexis Pauline Gumbs. The Rent Collectors, Exploitation, Murder, and Redemption in Immigrant LA by Jesse Katz. And Carson McCullers' A Life by Mary V. Dearborn. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are Shakespeare, Slow Noodles, and There's Always This Year. In Group B, the 6 books were Challenger, A True Story of Heroism and Disaster on the Edge of Space by Adam Higginbotham. Our Enemies Will Vanish, The Russian Invasion and Ukraine's War of Independence by Yaroslav Trofimov. Undue Burden, Life and Death Decisions in Post-Roe America by Shefali Luthra. Stranger Than Fiction, Lives of the 20th Century Novel by Edwin Frank. Smoke and Ashes, Opium's Hidden Histories by Amtav Ghosh. And The Black Utopians, Searching for Paradise and the Promised Land in America by Aaron Robertson. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are Challenger, Undue Burden, and Smoke and Ashes. In Group C, the 6 books were Everyone Who Is Gone Is Here, The United States, Central America, and the Making of a Crisis by Jonathan Blitzer. The Freaks Came Out to Write, The Definitive History of the Village Voice, The Radical Paper That Changed American Culture by Tricia Romano. When the Clock Broke, Con Men, Conspiracists, and How America Cracked Up in the Early 1990s by John Gans. The Showman, Inside the Invasion That Shook the World and Made a Leader of Volodymyr Zelensky by Simon Schuster. Cue the Sun, The Invention of Reality TV by Emily Nussbaum. And The Age of Deer, Trouble and Kinship with Our Wild Neighbors by Erica Hauser. The three books advancing to the quarterfinals are Everyone Who Is Gone Is Here, The Showman, and Cue the Sun. In Group D, the 6 books were Patriot, a Memoir by Alexei Navalny. Grief is for People by Sloane Crosley. Reading Genesis by Marilyn Robinson. The Garden Against Time, In Search of a Common Paradise by Olivia Lang. Letters by Oliver Sacks. And I Heard Her Call My Name, A Memoir of Transition by Lucy Sant. The three books advancing to the quarterfinals are Patriot, Grief is for People, and The Garden Against Time. In Group E, the 6 books were The Barn, The Secret History of a Murder in Mississippi by Wright Thompson. The Friday Afternoon Club, A Family Memoir by Griffin Dunn. 4 Shots in the Night, A True Story of Spies, Murder, and Justice in Northern Ireland by Henry Hemming. A Wilder Shore, The Romantic Odyssey of Fanny and Robert Louis Stevenson by Camille Perry. Ian Fleming, The Complete Man by Nicholas Shakespeare. And Missing Persons, or My Grandmother's Secrets by Claire Wills. The three books advancing to the quarterfinals are The Barn, 4 Shots in the Night, and A Wilder Shore. In Group F, the 6 books were Vanishing Treasures, A Bestiary of Extraordinary Endangered Creatures by Catherine Rundell. The Siege, A 6-Day Hostage Crisis and the Daring Special Forces Operation That Shocked the World by Ben McIntyre. The Scapegoat, The Brilliant Brief Life of the Duke of Buckingham by Lucy Hughes Hallett. The Rebels Clinic, The Revolutionary Lives of Frantz Fanon by Adam Schatz. Hardy Women, Mother, Sisters, Wives, Muses by Paula Byrne. And Byron, A Life in 10 Letters by Andrew Stauffer. The three books advancing to the quarterfinals are Vanishing Treasures, The Siege, and Byron. In Group G, the 6 books were The Bookshop, A History of the American Bookstore by Evan Friss. 3 Shades of Blue, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Bill Evans, and the Lost Empire of Cool by James Kaplan. Knife, Meditations After an Attempted Murder by Salman Rushdie. Cher, The Memoir Part 1 by Cher. Roman Year, A Memoir by Andre Aciman. And Charlie Hustle, The Rise and Fall of Pete Rose and the Last Glory Days of Baseball by Keith O'Brien. The three books advancing to the quarterfinals are The Bookshop, Knife, and Charlie Hustle. And in Group H, the 6 books were The Message by Ta-Nehisi Coates. My Good Bright Wolf, A Memoir by Sarah Moss. Language City, The Fight to Preserve Endangered Mother Tongues in New York by Ross Perlin. American Mother, A Life Reclaimed by Colin McCann and Diane Foley. The New York Game, Baseball and the Rise of a New City by Kevin Baker. And Bitter Crop, The Heartache and Triumph of Billie Holiday's Last Year by Paul Alexander. The three books advancing to the quarterfinals are Language City, American Mother, and Bitter Crop. Moving on to fiction. In Group A, the 6 books were James by Percival Everett, Clear by Karis Davis, Cahokia Jazz by Frances Spufford, Long Island Compromise by Taffy Brodesser Ackner, Praiseworthy by Alexis Wright, and Scaffolding by Lauren Elkin. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are James, Clear, and Cahokia Jazz. In Group B, the 6 books were My Friends by Hisham Attar, The Mighty Red by Louise Erdrich, Long Island by Com Toybin, Anita De Monte Laughs Last by Xochitl Gonzalez, The Bright Sword, a novel of King Arthur by Lev Grossman, and Sandwich by Catherine Newman. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are My Friends, The Mighty Red, and Long Island. In Group C, the 6 books were Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, Small Rain by Garth Greenwell, Behind You is the Sea by Susan Moadi Daraj, The Anthropologists by Aishagul Savash, Caledonian Road by Andrew O'Hagan, and The Extinction of Irina Ray by Jennifer Croft. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are Martyr, Behind You is the Sea, and Caledonian Road. In Group D, the 6 books were Glorious Exploits by Ferdia Lennon, Time of the Child by Niall Williams, Shy Creatures by Claire Chambers, Colored Television by Danzy Senna, Tiananmen Square by Lai Wen, and The Voyage Home by Pat Barker. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are Glorious Exploits, Shy Creatures, and Tiananmen Square. In Group E, the 6 books were There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak, Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strout, The Heart in Winter by Kevin Barry, Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner, The Hunter by Tana French, and Enlightenment by Sarah Perry. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are There Are Rivers in the Sky, Tell Me Everything, and The Heart in Winter. In Group F, the 6 books were Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, Beautyland by Marie-Helene Bertino, All Fours by Miranda July, Gabriel's Moon by William Boyd, Wild Houses by Colin Barrett, and Neighbors and Other Stories by Diane Oliver. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are Intermezzo, Beautyland, and Gabriel's Moon. In Group G, the 6 books were The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, Our Evenings by Alan Hollinghurst. Rejection by Tony Tulatamudi. In Ascension by Martin McInnes. This Strange Eventful History by Claire Massoud. And Headshot by Rita Bullwinkle. The three books advancing to the quarterfinals are The God of the Woods, Our Evenings, and In Ascension. And in Group H, the 6 books were Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange, Playground by Richard Powers, Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan, Sipsworth by Simon Van Boy, You Like It Darker, Stories by Stephen King, and Fire Exit by Morgan Talty. The 3 books advancing to the quarterfinals are Wandering Stars, Sipsworth, and Fire Exit. Now let's look at the pairings for the quarterfinals. Beginning with nonfiction, in Group A, the 6 books are Four Shots in the Night by Henry Hemming, Smoke and Ashes by Amtav Ghosh, Charlie Hustle by Keith O'Brien, Everyone Who Is Gone Is Here by Jonathan Blitzer, Slow Noodles by Chanta Nguyen, and The Siege by Ben McIntyre. In Group B, the 6 books are Shakespeare by Judi Dench and Brendan O'Hay, Challenger by Adam Higginbotham, The Garden Against Time by Olivia Lang, The Barn by Wright Thompson, American Mother by Colin McCann and Diane Foley, and Vanishing Treasures by Catherine Rundell. In Group C, the 6 books are There's Always This Year by Hanif Abdurraqib, Language City by Ross Perlin, The Bookshop by Evan Friss, A Wilder Shore by Camille Perry, Cue the Sun by Emily Nussbaum, and Patriot by Alexei Navalny. And in Group D, the 6 books are The Showman by Simon Schuster, Grief is for People by Sloane Crosley, Bitter Crop by Paul Alexander, Undue Burden by Shefali Luthra, Knife by Salman Rushdie, and Byron by Andrew Stauffer. Turning now to fiction. In Group A, the 6 books are Our Evenings by Alan Hollinghurst, Caledonian Road by Andrew O'Hagan, The Mighty Red by Louise Erdrich, James by Percival Everett, Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, and There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak. In Group B, the 6 books are Beautyland by Marie-Helene Bertino, Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange, My Friends by Hisham Matar, Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strout, Tiananmen Square by Lai Wen, and Clear by Karis Davis. In Group C, the 6 books are Cahokia Jazz by Frances Spufford, Glorious Exploits by Ferdia Lennon, The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, The Heart in Winter by Kevin Barry, and Fire Exit by Morgan Talty. And in Group D, the 6 books are Behind You is the Sea by Susan Muaddi Daraj, Sipsworth by Simon Van Boy, In Ascension by Martin McInnes, Shy Creatures by Claire Chambers, Gabriel's Moon by William Boyd, and Long Island by Com Toybean. There you have the 24 books in each division of this year's BookTube Prize. Please read along with us as we cut the field in half again at the end of May. Cheers everyone, and happy reading.